Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you've probably seen this term AI agents popping up just about everywhere. It's the new buzzword, right? But what does it actually mean? Are we just slapping a new label on something we already have, or is this really the next big leap? Let's dig in and find out. So, let's get right to it. This is the big question, isn't it? We've all played around with chatbots, with things like ChatGPT. Is AI agent just some slick new marketing term for the same tech? Well, the short answer is no, not even close. And understanding that difference is absolutely key. And here it is, the fundamental difference, boiled down to its simplest form. A chatbot, well, it provides information. You ask it something, it tells you something. That's its job. But an AI agent, its job is to take action. It doesn't just tell you how to do something, it can actually go out and do it for you. And that shift from just answering to actively acting is what changes everything. Okay, so let's get a little more specific. The official definition calls it an autonomous system. Autonomous is the key word there. It means it works on its own. You give it a goal, and it perceives what needs to be done, it reasons through the steps, and then it takes real actions in the digital world to achieve that goal. It's all about being goal-oriented and action-driven. This leap from answering to acting is what makes agents so incredibly powerful. But, abstract definitions are one thing. To really get a feel for what this means, let's walk through a super simple, relatable example. Okay, imagine this is your goal. You want to plan a 5-day trip to LA. It's a pretty standard task, right? But it involves a bunch of research, some decision-making, and a whole lot of separate bookings. So let's see how a chatbot versus an agent would tackle this. And here's where you really see the difference. The chatbot, even a really smart one, is basically a research assistant. It'll give you a fantastic text itinerary, maybe some links to flights and hotels. But then, the work is on you. You have to go to all those different websites and do the booking. The AI agent, on the other hand, takes that same goal and just gets to work. It starts researching flights in real time, it finds a hotel that fits your criteria, it books the rental car, it does the whole thing end to end for you. So, how in the world does it do that? How does it go from a simple prompt like, plan my trip, to a fully booked vacation? It kind of feels like magic, right? Well, it's not magic. It all comes down to a core operational loop. Let's take a look at how an agent actually thinks. It's constantly running through this 4-step cycle. First, it perceives the world and understands what you're asking for. Then, it reasons. It breaks down that big, complex goal into a smaller, multi-step plan. Like step 1, check flights. Step 2, find hotels. Third, it acts. It uses its tools like APIs to actually go out and execute that plan. And finally, and this is crucial, it gets feedback. It looks at the results of its actions. So if a flight booking failed, it gets that feedback, adjusts its plan, and tries again. It's this continuous loop of observing, thinking, and doing. And what's powering this whole loop? Well, every agent has a kind of toolkit. It all starts with the goal that you give it. Then you've got the reasoning engine, which is usually a large language model. You can think of this as the brain of the operation, the part that creates the plan. Then it has its tools, things like APIs and web search that let it interact with the world. And critically, it has memory, so it can remember what it's already done and keep track of the context. But it gets even crazier. I mean, a single agent is pretty amazing, right? But what happens when you get more than one of them working on a problem together? This is where we get into multi-agent systems. And honestly, this is where so much of the excitement in the industry is focused right now. So until now, we've been talking about a single agent, kind of like a Swiss Army knife that has all the tools it needs. A multi-agent system is different. It's more like a team of specialists. You have multiple agents, each one with its own unique skill set, and they all collaborate to solve problems that are way too complex for any single agent to handle alone. This is the perfect analogy for it. It really is like a project manager. A lot of these systems have one orchestrator agent that acts as the manager. It looks at the big picture, breaks the goal down into smaller chunks, and then delegates those specific tasks to the specialist agents on its team. One agent for research, one for booking, one for writing emails. It allows for incredible focus and efficiency. So where is this all going? Look, this is about way more than just building better assistants. The vision here is huge. We're talking about a complete transformation of how software is built and how we interact with it. Now, of course, it's not all easy. Making sure these agents are reliable, secure, and do what we expect them to do is a massive challenge that everyone is working on right now. And if you want a sense of the sheer scale people are thinking about, just look at this number. Billions. The CEO of AWS, Matt Garman, recently talked about his vision for a future with billions of these AI agents all interacting with each other, with software and with us. That's not a small step forward. That's a paradigm shift. So if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. AI agents are not just the next chatbot. They represent a fundamental shift from systems that give us information to systems that take action. They're changing the very idea of software from a box of tools into an autonomous problem solver. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As this technology keeps getting better and showing up everywhere, from handling our small daily tasks to managing huge, complex business workflows, it's really worth asking yourself, how will these autonomous agents reshape your world? Thanks for watching.